What is going on? Happy Tuesday. We are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all already know where you're at. So this is Comic Relief. And of course, if you know Comic Relief, I don't do this by myself. So I got to bring in the homie, the one and only, No Good Comics. What's going on, Justin?
Not too much, Morbius. How are you, man?
Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there, man. This has been a great week, just hanging out, having a good time, enjoying the weekend. How about you, brother?
Still recovering from Sunday a little bit, right? Just catching up on some sleep still.
Bro,
right?
Sunday was rough. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I was wondering how Monday was for you.
Monday I was passing out. I mean, I could not sit at my desk for no longer than 10 minutes because I was just drooling. Like I was just passing out. It was horrible. I love Sunday. Monday sucked.
Right.
I came home Monday and it was like I crashed like at 8:00. I was out.
You're out.
I was done. But yeah, it wasn't no fun, man. But once again, talking about fun, we definitely got somebody. I guess I'll let you introduce the brother.
Yeah, so we always come up with a guest, and sorry, my dog's spazzing out at the moment. Right during showtime.
Of course.
But we got to bring on my man Brandon, Comics Kings, for the guest.
What's going on,
everybody? Justin, you gotta pull a rod and tell your dog to shut their pie hole. That's what you got to do. I'm doing good, you guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's been trying to get on this show for a minute, but I'm glad we finally got a topic. I know it's hard between a Giants and Ravens fan to come up with something cool, so you had to come to the Steelers fan for that. I get it.
Yeah, we actually, Morbius and I are just gonna roast you. That's what we're really gonna do.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the day.
You and your Steelers fandom.
Yeah. I came prepared. I got some for both of y'all. Don't worry.
Oh gosh.
All right, man. So we got a few people here, you know what I mean? And so let's go to the chat. Let's see who's in the building. I know we got the homie Jason. He's up in here. Course he knows where the party is at,
yeah.
And of course we got another homie, Sove Collector. What's up, my brother? He was we were cracking some slabs not too long ago. We gotta do that again. We gotta get some slabs cracking, And of course, Azores was good. SpineTicks in the building.
Eric.
There we go.
But yeah, man, it seems like I guess people are still getting home from work,
or they think it's on Justin's channel.
Right. They went to Justin's channel and they're like, oh shit, it's not here.
So yeah, make sure you guys tell your friends that we're over here.
Yeah, let everyone know it's on MorbiusComics channel.
And not whatever, like 500,000 subscribers Justin pulled in the last 3 minutes.
You could do it, Justin. Come on, call your friends.
Yeah. I wish there was a way. I know you can share another YouTuber's video on YouTube if you're over 1,000. It has like that capability, but I'm not there yet. So
yeah, we need like a Team Nerd Herd person in here to do that for us.
That's right, because they hit that 1K, man, having the big show this year.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them.
Oh yeah.
That's real big, man. Definitely, bro. So, before we continue, I know today's topic, we're going to be talking about comic book tropes. Now, to be honest, comic book tropes is a topic that was just like fresh to me. You know what I mean? As far as a few weeks ago, I wasn't really on the whole, concept of tropes until I heard it. I started looking into it. And then, of course, talking to Brandon, he brought it up. And I was like, you know what? Let's look into this. This is something new. And so I figured, why not? So what do you think, Justin? How you feel about it?
So I wanted to ask you guys first, like, because I want to make sure I fully understand, like, for a trope, to my mind, it kind of comes as like something cliche, something that we get often from comic books. Usually, it's like almost annoying in a sense.
Right.
I don't know if there's like good tropes, I guess you could say, but kind of the typical stuff, right? Is that
more like hidden tropes? Sometimes tropes can be hidden from us. A trope is something, like you said, it's been done time and time again, like throughout comics. Yeah, like a cliche, but it's also like how big of it, like how much of it stands out.
Right. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Because if you're like Scott Snyder, right, in his Batman run, and you're able to hide it a little bit, that's kind of when it's a little bit more enjoyable because your mind doesn't automatically go. But then I think you see a title like Berserker, and it's like, yeah, I've seen this dozens of times before. Right. Or some of like the other horror books that are like on the shelf right now, right? You kind of like picking up on that. So it's like if you can automatically relate it to another thing, it's no good. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
No good comics.
Definitely. You know, so
but instead it's like no, like NO, like hard stop, no good, cut it off, get it out of here. No,
it's a different no good comics.
right, exactly.
There we go.
You know, so I guess before we get into it, you know, we always got to do a little cheers. We got to salute.
Yeah, see Jason calling us out, man.
Yeah, I know, right? So he called me out, man. He's like, "Where we at?" Here we go, Cheers, salute.
Keeping us on par here.
I'm pretty sure he got his with him. So everyone who's in the chat, got your drink, sip it up. Let's get started. And so tropes, I guess, you know, why not pass it off to Justin? Let's start with you.
Sure.
Give us your you know, some tropes that you've looked into and you want to talk about.
I mean, the one of the biggest ones that I was, as I was kind of looking some up and seeing what other people had talked about, is the fact that superheroes, or characters, I should say, never die. There are several storylines where they essentially do die. But of course, when you have what do you call it? Like when you have a character such as like Superman or Spider-Man, that sells millions of dollars and, is obviously like some of the basis around what your business is all about. It's hard to cut that character off completely and, without killing your business or whatever. So like, I understand the idea of it, but it is kind of overplayed and doesn't hit as hard when you know that the character is coming back. And I think of like Daredevil. I mean, I feel like Daredevil has come close to several times where he's died.
Or he's like gone to jail, or when his identity's been revealed.
Right.
Something like that, right?
Right. So it's like then, I mean, I think about like Charles Soule when he finished his run. He kind of left Daredevil as getting hit by that truck and dying. And I remember even hearing that in an interview where he was like, saying basically like passing it on to the next writer, saying, here you go, like figure out how you're going to write Daredevil now, to the next. Obviously Chip's doing a great job with it, but I mean, am I right though? Like there's characters,
I agree.
Very rarely, even X-Men. I mean, that we get one in, with Thunderbird, and we don't really see him anymore, but, that was like
no one cared about Thunderbird. That was okay.
Right. Well, then that was okay.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, oh, like I was just telling my girlfriend about it and explaining. I'm like, well, what if you like, you'll go and watch Titanic and you're like, okay, Titanic, great, like powerful movie, obviously a classic. And then like a couple years later, they come out with like another movie that takes place shortly after, but Jack is still there. And it's like, oh, okay. like I mean, I get like why you got to do it, because this is your business and you're telling stories constantly with focused characters, but it can get overplayed or just doesn't hit home as much when they're coming back, so I don't know, that's kind of my one of mine for my 2 cents on that. I don't know if any of you guys want to share or any other examples of that.
Brandon, what you got?
I definitely want to piggyback off Justin talking about like the death and return, because that's something we see a lot in comics. If a character is not selling, or if an editor or if a publisher doesn't understand how to use them. Honestly, the biggest trope in Marvel that I've seen over the past, let's say the past 10 years, is if something didn't succeed in the film, they're going to cut it out of the comics. Or if they don't know how to use a character. Take Wolverine, for example. Character did not need to die. Death of Wolverine, right? They didn't understand how to use the X-Men, so death of X. Who did they kill? They killed off Cyclops, right? Yep. And it's always titled death of. Later with the Inhumans with Donny Cates. Death of Inhumans. Because they didn't understand how to use the Inhumans and gain people's interest again because their TV show kind of failed. And now we're going to see it in the fall with Doctor Strange. They're going to kill him, right? Death of Doctor Strange. They're supposedly going to kill him. But he's going to come back. Because of the movie, of course. So obviously, no fooling. But that's where C.B. Cebulski kind of fails as the head of Marvel right now for me. In DC, if their characters aren't selling, it's not like they don't understand how to use a character, but if they have a new character or they want to push a new character, they kill off the original. We saw it with Superman, we saw it with Supergirl, we saw it with The Flash, biggest example. And then you'll get someone down the road. They'll be gone for, let's say, 20, 25 years. Even more, you'll get somebody named Jeff Johns who cares, and Danny Dio who care about the originals and really are very anal about aging and screwing up the rest of the universe. So they'll bring them back, right? Hal Jordan died. No, they're not going to let Kyle get any spotlight. They don't care about Kyle because it solidifies Hal Jordan in that age spot, right? They don't care about Dick Grayson. That's why they shot him in the head, right? That's another trope. Just take him out of the picture, right? He's not selling. They don't know how to use him, right? Obviously, that character could sell. Look what Nightwing's doing right now. But no, because Nightwing solidifies Batman in a certain age, right? Same thing with Barry Allen and Wally West. So what do? They killed off Barry. But when it was convenient, it swapped recently. Except Wally didn't die. He died, but came back in Rebirth. But those are just some tropes between the two publishings with the Death and Return. That, like you said, it's like all business related.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good point too. I didn't think about that, like, or about the point of, you know, if it's not writing, if it's not selling, or if it's not
selling. Yeah, that's big. That's big. Yeah. You know, that's how I felt with you know, like when they like we were talking behind the scenes, me and Brandon, about it. When you unmask a character, you know, show his identity. Or, you know, something to that effect, like, you know, like we said, Spider-Man and Civil War, you know, it was like, oh, we got to reveal his identity. Because at that time, books were just, it wasn't selling. You know what I mean? So you had to go and now expose these characters and show, oh, no. Look, we're going to tell you who he is. And then, you know, in the next title, you're going to forget. And we're going to rewrite him. And no one is going to know who he is now. You know what I mean? We're gonna change the whole, you know, dynamics of it. You know, so you have that. You got, you know, to me also when they add celebrities, I find that kind of like, you know what I mean? Like even with the whole Obama, you know, like that was when they did the whole Obama with Spider-Man, and you know they had him on the cover, and that that was a very big trope right there. You know what I mean? They were reaching on that one there,
right?
You know, so yeah.
Like sometimes, like with celebrity appearances, like there are times to do it and there are times not to. Recently with the X-Men's Hellfire Gala, there were a few celebrity appearances there. Like you had Eminem, you had this other rap group. Oh, I can't think of their name.
Oh, really?
My gosh.
I didn't know that.
You had Kevin Feige, that's been very well known out there. You had Elton John, who made his own cameo appearance.
Right.
You had like a lot of celebrities out there. I think Conan, not like Conan the Barbarian, but like Conan the stupid comedian that's not that funny. Sorry for offending
Conan
anyone.
O'Brien.
Yeah, that guy, that pasty white guy. Yeah, that one. But you know, like that's kind of natural because that's where the Hellfire Gala could like do it. But of course, like what you said with Obama, that's like very like we kind of see even like creators drawing themselves in comics. You want to take it a step further?
Yeah. You know, I mean, well, that goes back to the bullpit. You know, where you had all the originals, you know, you had Stan Lee, you know, all these guys. And when they drew themselves and added themselves in this pulpit, you know, that was I would say that's a cool trope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like, cool. That's fun.
That was cool. That was harmless. You know what I mean? Because they were kind of making fun of themselves. So that's why I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. You know, but really, I got to say what's up to Paul, man. That's
what's up, Paul.
Good, Paul. Yeah, man. He just picked up a good book, man. Really good, Fantastic Four. Oh yeah, yeah, nice key. You know, Paul with his Fantastic Four, he's a beast. You know, he's a beast.
I just assumed he owned it all already.
Yeah, I thought he like duplicated it like 3
That's
times.
the same thing I told him. I was just like, come on, just stop lying to me, man. You own them all. You have the run. You know, and
he's like no, 5 times. I'm going for myself.
Right. He has the run. He's just trying to multiply it.
One for each inning. So we can sit through a baseball game and just go through the whole run, and then go through the next inning. Boom, right? And then you'll get like some stupid Yankees game where you'll go through the whole box 20,000 times.
Whoa.
Innings.
What kind of what? Whoa.
You know what, Justin? I am a Pirates fan, so you know what I'm gonna think. I am very embarrassed.
Listen, not for nothing, but when Justin posted that reel, man, Justin, I was like, "Yo, you a beast, man!" With that 129 X-Men, I was like, "Yo, bro, how many copies you got? 5?"
Oh yeah, the X-Men one. I think I just got my 4 or 5. 4. I think 5, 4.
5, 4. Oh,
but 2 of them they're pretty low.
Oh yeah.
Low grade.
Oh
my God.
Here we go. Starting to downplay. Here we go. Humbleness.
I was on that book for a long time. People were like passing that thing up. I'm like, that is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, see, and that's crazy, man. I don't understand it, man. It's like that cover, the book itself is amazing, and you know what?
Starts off the Dark Phoenix saga, like that.
Exactly. Like, how you not gonna have that book? Like, how you not gonna chase that book?
You get
down,
so many great characters in there,
dude. Yeah. You know, and you know that I know we're jumping off course here, but like we always do. You know what I mean? But there's our specialty. But you know, going back to that is I just find it funny how, you know, the trends, you know what I mean? Like people follow these trends. They jump on these trends where, you know, no one was given, like no one cared. You know, let's just say like, you know, with the first Mojo long shot, you know, this limited series, and no one gave a damn about him. And all of a sudden everybody, you know, wants to like talk about it, or all these other books that are coming out. Or let's just say with the Loki. Nobody was like real big Loki fans. And now that the Loki show came out, now everybody's like buying up all this Loki, and now they're big Loki fans, and now they're showing all the, and it's okay to a point, man. Look, just keep it real. My thing is keep it real. You know what I mean? If you just bought the book, just say it. Like, hey, I got the book. But don't act like you own that shit your whole life, and now you posting it because the Loki movie's out. Right, stop lying. You know, you just bought that shit on eBay last week, and now you're like, hey, look, this is my book. You know, it's hot now.
When you
sound like a frog.
When you get the stories where they're like, well, I saw someone call someone out about this for like Moon Knight when Moon Knight was like, you know, first announced, and then there was like, I don't know, there's like a meme or something. They were basically like, yeah, I've been a Moon Knight fan all my life, you know, and meanwhile they didn't know nothing at first about Moon Knight.
They ain't know shit about Moon Knight.
It's one thing to, yeah, I mean that's just lying. So really, you're just saying what you're saying, Morb. You know, like don't lie. You know, essentially, it's okay to say it's okay to say, hey, I'm new to the character. I just got into it. I just bought this. Like that's okay. Right. But I think there are some people who feel that they need to have been, you know, this long-term, I got a tattoo of the character type of fan. And you don't have to be like that. You don't have to lie if you're not. It's okay.
So is that a trope in the comic community?
Yes, that's a trope. There we go. Thank you for bringing it back. Full circle, brother. Full circle.
That's what Morbius was getting at this entire time.
Exactly. I was gonna say it, but Brandon did it. Brandon did it. Thank you, Brandon. Cheers to you.
L'chaim. I'm Jewish. You know, in there.
No, it's all right. You know, I mean, I'm Jewish too. No, I'm not.
So at heart,
only just from the heart. But you know, and yeah, definitely, you know, and me, you know me, man, I'm quick to call you out. You know, if I see some bullshit, I see some fugazi going on, I'm gonna call you out. You know, and if y'all saw my story, I just posted. It was a meme that Paul has sent me that I was laughing at, and I was like, I gotta post this. Another thing is that makes me laugh is like guys are chasing a grail. It's like, oh my God, finally I got my grail. 2 weeks later, they got it up for sale. It's like, what the fuck? Like why? Because it just spiked or it just hit, and now you can. I thought that was your grail. If that was a grail, that stays in your PC, bro. Like, you don't sell your grail.
Morb, I'm getting my grail in the mail, so I would just want a mystery box of a Daredevil #1.
That's a huge grail you just got.
That's a huge one.
Are you selling it?
Don't. I am in a position. I'm having another surgery. That shit's expensive.
Oh well, that's different.
That's different. You have a life
situation. You're not doing it just to flip it, just to have money.
Exactly, like, just to make money and try to get something else to flip that. No, man, this is different. That's
like if you took that money and reinvested it into more comics or something, you know that
exactly, and then try to do it again. Nah, but this is a life situation, man. That's you have no control over that, bro.
Yeah, it's either gonna be that or it's gonna finish paying off the rest of my car. So I'm like, I mean, I might sell it, I might not. I'm gonna play it by ear and play it by the trailer coming out. But
play it by the trailer
because I mean, Daredevil might be in there because you know that's like
keep watching, go collect, see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm not like that. I'm usually not like that, but life is life. If you need the money, then shit. For somebody my age, getting $3,000 or $2,000, right? Maybe not $3,000, but $2,000, like easy.
Right. But
also right now is huge for somebody my age. Shit,
but also your situation is different.
Yeah.
But your situation is that you won that. So if you bought Daredevil and you paid $2,000 for it, and then 2 weeks later you're like, hey, I got it for $2,300. Then it's like, okay, what are you trying to do? You know what I mean? Like that's you know, that's what Morb's, you know, point out more.
I know. I'm just also trying to play devil's advocate, you know.
Right. Sure. Exactly.
Because you never know somebody's situation. But you know what? I'm gonna keep it. I might keep it for a while, you know?
That's true. That's true. We Justin have said that a lot of times. We don't know other people's situations.
Right.
So, but I could comment based on face value. But I'm not gonna judge you, but I will make a comment and then you correct me, and then I'll say, you know what? Okay. but I have to say something. If I see something that looks felonious, I gotta say something about it. I can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna assume that like Brandon, you have a physical, condition where you know what I mean? Like,
no, ain't nobody
if you
saying
used to
that
hit
to me.
me up
20,
and be like, yo, bro, I
80.
need this I'll be like, oh shit, bro, all good.
Yeah. And everybody knows I'm a huge Daredevil fan. Like, that's my guy. I have a whole blog here dedicated to Daredevil, Which I mean, but also, shit, that's a lot of money.
But I'm not even gonna go there.
That could like empty out the pocket.
Y'all two gotta put gloves on. Y'all two gotta put gloves on with this Daredevil. Cause I don't know, when I met Justin, and Justin is the real
battling Jack Murdoch.
When it comes to Daredevil,
I got you.
We gotta have a Daredevil showdown between you two guys. We gotta have a Daredevil show. And now Justin is like, no, Morbius, don't do that shit. He just got the #1. Like, fuck you. Don't put me in that position, bro.
Hey,
he just got the #1.
Justin, I am not the one to knock out Rod. I'll leave that to you.
I can't take Rod out, man. Dude, it's funny. Like, I know a lot of people who kind of see me as the diehard Daredevil fan, but I feel like if anything, I've kind of stepped away a little bit from that.
And you're X-Men.
And I'm indie. Like, I'm dipping in a lot of different things right now. So
man.
like, if you go on my channel, if you go on my Instagram and you just scroll through, you probably aren't going to see Daredevil probably for a couple scrolls. And so, I slowed down on the Matt Murdock Mondays and the Man Without Fear Mondays. Doesn't mean I don't have them. I still have all my books that I have, but they just haven't been priority right now.
Right.
So, like, I got my books. He's like, yo, chill, fall back.
I still have but
I got my books.
Like Desired, Nigel, he, like, every once in a while I'll get a message from him on Instagram, and it's him forwarding me like like Daredevil, like a deal on a book or artwork or something cool.
Right.
And he's like, sorry, man, I send you this stuff. It's just I literally every time I see Daredevil, I think of you. And I'm like, I like, it's cool, and I appreciate when he sends me that stuff, because I'm still into him. I'm still into Daredevil. I just I'm just exploring a lot of different things right now.
Right. And
he's still my man. Like,
I'm still the same way. It's like, it's good to have that one character you resonate to the most, but also it's like the great thing about this hobby and like comics in general there's so much to enjoy, whether it's indies, because there's always a new story, and Daredevil is great right now. But Daredevil's always like kind of been like that character where if you love, you're just chill about it. Like, I feel like Daredevil fans are the chillest people ever, because they like other things. Not like a Batman fan where all they do is just suck Batman's dick for 24/7. Like 24/7. I swear to God. That's a whole nother.
You a Batman fan? I thought you was a fan of Batman.
I like Batman. It's just I don't idolize him like people. Like people who I idolize Daredevil. Daredevil and Nightwing are up here. Right? People who have Batman up here, like on that Mushu platform, like from Mulan. Nah, they don't do no other character. They don't do no other character.
It's so funny because
this show is gone completely left hook.
I was such a big Daredevil fan growing up. No lie, he was in my top 5. And I mean, I got a fucking pretty much half a long box of just nothing but Daredevil. And for you guys, it's nothing. You guys got like 50 long boxes, but for me, who's not a big Daredevil head now, too long. Look at it. Okay, so you know what I mean. So I don't have that much Daredevil, but for me, that's a lot. To have a little more than almost a full box of just Daredevil, for me, that was a lot. And growing up, and those are all my original books from when I was a kid. So it was big because I love Daredevil. It was something about Daredevil. I love the name Matt Murdock. Like, it was just so dope. Like, I just had a little ring to it, and I just liked it. But then as I got older, it's like I kind of fell out of love with Daredevil. So it's kind of weird, It's like now I just have this love and like hate relationship with Daredevil. Like, I like Daredevil when you guys post Daredevil, and I'm like, man, that's a dope cover. I gotta get that shit. And then when I go look for it, I end up picking up, something totally different. Like, I'm picking up a Tales of Suspense. I'm getting something else, like off the rack. Like, just,
you know what I'm getting? My pull list. Can I read? Okay.
So, but like, I know we definitely off subject. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
All right, let's bring it back. Because
back to the tropes. We have so many tropes to go through. I mean,
events.
It just varies. It varies with so many, man. It's so many to touch. We did the death. We did unmasking identities. You
said events, Brandon?
Yeah, like events.
Like, what do you mean?
Events, yeah.
So a lot of times when companies are doing events, right? So comics are done on a specific timeline, right? So they will plan out, okay, this event will be 3 months apart from this one, right? 3 months apart from this one, okay? To kind of like space it out. But eventually, right, the everyday reader, and I felt this way a lot, gets very fatigued by events and like their crossovers and tie-ins. Personally, I like the way Marvel does their tie-ins a lot better, because it's like, if you want to read this character, just go buy it. You don't need to read the main. Like World of the Realms is perfect, right? You want to read what Spider-Man's up to, read the Spider-Man tie-in, right? You want to see what Venom's up to, read it there. Or Deadpool, name your character, they're there in Marvel. Right. With DC, look what happened with Death Metal. No, you had to read all the tie-ins because issue 4 was coming out, right? But you had 4 of the tie-ins that came out the weeks prior, right? A lot of times companies will just push these events, right? Like King in Black, like what Tom Taylor's doing now that just got announced, like the Dark Ages, like we had with Empire. While all good stories, I could see how the everyday reader could get a little bit fatigued from it. Yeah. And that's a big trope between the two industries, and the fact that they're repeat, especially with COVID, they had to publish everything at the same time. That's why you had 3 Batman events at the same fucking time. That's why you had Empire followed by Ten of Swords, followed by all that stuff.
Yeah, I got I definitely got overwhelmed with War of the Realms. When War of the Realms came out, like I loved it. Like I was enjoying everything that I did pick up, but I just had this, I felt this obligation to have to read every single one, and that if I didn't, I'm going to be lost, or I'm not going to understand an inside joke, and I want to experience all that, you know? So like I wanted to, and I tried to when I was going through that, and I was worn out by the end. I mean, by the end, I was like actually tired of it. Like I wasn't having fun the way I was at first.
Right. I gave up totally. Like halfway through, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not even picking none of this.
I mean, it was a great event. I loved it.
No, and I'm like, I liked what I was reading at the time. Like I
got exhausted.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to go back and read, just read the main 6 issues again and just kind of read through that.
But I stood there.
But everything else, like I enjoyed the Punisher one, like the side tie-ins to Punisher. I enjoyed the Agents
Journey into Mystery. Speaking of.
I like Journey into Mystery, like that. I think I read the first like 2. There was like 5, I think, altogether. Like 2 or 3, but I don't know. It was just a lot, and of course, it's a lot to buy too. Like it's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is, man.
When events come out,
pockets, man.
Right,
that's like $4 a book, and you have like 32 tie-ins.
Yeah,
exactly.
Think about it, because it got released in an omnibus, and that was oversized for most Marvel omnibuy, right?
It did get an omnibus.
Yeah, it's like $400 now. Thank you so much, Gemmit. You're a legend, bro. But yeah, like
man,
with War of the Realms, I kind of took it as, okay, this is the character. If I like Thor, I'm just gonna go read the Thor tie and see like what they're up to. Of course, if you're not reading those tie-ins, like I didn't read Agents of Atlas at the time. Obviously, now it's important. King in Black was a great example of why not to read tie-ins that are not part of the main story unless you care about the character, right? Because off the bat, I could list 3-4 tie-ins that I could want to go back and read, right? Or that I actually cared about and enjoyed. By the way, if I'm lagging, let me know. I think there's something wrong with my camera.
No, you're good.
Okay. No, you're good, man.
Word, because it's been weird as hell lately. But you look at some of the other tie-ins, right? Like the Planet of the Symbiotes, right? And those are like copy and paste. The Deadpool tie-in was really freaking stupid. So a lot of times, like Marvel will do those for like kind of sales pitches, making sure that it's like that, So DC's guilty of the same thing, Joker tie-in, of course, involve all the Bat family. People who weren't reading Batgirl probably only picked up those last 3 issues.
I stood away from a lot of those tie-ins. I just stuck to the main story. Right. And I stood away, man, because it was just financially, I just couldn't keep up, to be honest with you guys. I just couldn't keep up because I'm buying back issues as well. When I go to the comic shop, I'm going to the wall, and then I'm going, to the racks. So I'm going to the top shelf. I'm buying all the back. I'm picking up back issues, and I'm picking up current issues. So it's kind of hard for me, being that I'm a big back issue guy, and I'm not much of a current issue guy. So I can't really focus on tie-ins too much. Because it's going to cut into my money for my back issues, So it's like I have to focus on the main storyline. Back tie-ins, I'll read them online. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not going to go and pick them up, to be honest with you guys. And to be honest, I don't have the space. That's another thing too. Like I'm getting to a point now where I just don't have the space for these books.
That's why they go to the wall behind you, right?
And you see the wall. It's like
He's running out of wall space too.
I'm running out of. I'm like taking stuff down and then trying to put stuff back up and take. And I don't like doing that because I don't like handling the stuff
Too
on
often.
the wall too much.
Right.
I don't like touching them because the stuff that's on the wall means a lot to me. You know what I mean? And
How
these are a
tall
lot
are
of
you,
key
Morb?
books up here.
How tall are you? How tall are you?
Me?
Morb's like 6'4", right? 6'3"?
I'm 6'2".
Oh, I thought
Justin
you were
is
like
5'4".
I thought more. I thought you were like Kevin Hart size. I don't know what got me.
No,
thinking
that's
that.
Justin.
Okay.
That's
sorry,
Justin.
Justin.
He's Kevin Hart size.
We were talking about it when we met up. We each thought we were going to be like super short or super tall.
Right.
We're
And we're
the
Oh
actually
same
my
like,
height.
god! So when I
we're
went,
pretty
when I
much the
met,
same size.
Yeah.
You're Brandon, based on from what I saw in pictures and based on from what I hear, you're shorter than me and Justin.
no, I'm taller than Justin.
No, you're not.
5'6". I'm 5'6".
Oh, you're 5'6". Oh, we're the same height then. Yeah, you are.
I was to say so. Yeah, no, yeah, we're 5'6". Technically, I'm 5'7" on my license. but-
Oh, do you wear your
Yeah,
girlfriend's
technically.
heels? That's
'Cause he was on his
Justin.
tippy toe.
That's,
was on
hey,
his
that
tippy
I don't.
toes.
That's how I was measured, man.
Yeah,
I was measured that
yeah.
way.
So when I met Chet came in, and this guy comes down into my basement, and he takes up the whole space. He like just see me, he goes, "You're so little," and I'm just like, this is somebody I talk to every day, and that's the first thing he says to me. He comes out of my basement and he stretches his arms. Now I don't know if you ever seen like a basketball player like.
Well, he's a big dude,
reach.
Chet.
Like no, Chet's like
big.
what? He's like 6 foot, but his wingspan and his shoulders take up probably like my whole body. If he went like this,
He just stretched. Yeah.
this man is like covering. This man is like covering like probably most of like Shaquille O'Neal. But
Dude, well, hey, that's why that's all he eats is salads. So that's why, you know.
I caught him eating a cupcake today, and he's mad at me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gotta take a screenshot of that, man.
Yeah, I did. I have it.
Oh,
Nice.
I gotta bust
Oh my
his
god!
balls for that one now. I gotta
Did you
bust
see
his
what he
balls.
sent me with the snake on the refrigerator?
Yeah,
door?
I
I
saw
don't
that.
get
I
it.
saw that.
I don't get it. I didn't get that.
Oh,
You gotta put
because I
that on your
post
fridge.
I always post my food, and it's always food that like usually he doesn't eat. So he's like,
Oh,
yo,
right.
so he's like, I'm gonna put this snake on your refrigerator so you can't eat all that good stuff.
Hey, man. Hey, it's like comic books. It's like collecting. You collect what you like, eat what you like, man. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look,
Yeah.
if you find something good on sale and
I'll bet.
you're okay with it,
Sure.
the fact that it's on sale, it's gonna bump up on your food radar. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
if you can tolerate it, you're gonna eat it at least.
You know, man, you know, you only live once, but definitely, you know, we got to stay conscious and we got to stay healthy, of course, because we want to collect for as long as we want.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
what's
Gotta
a
think
big,
about that too.
you know, it's another big one that I just thought of. Waiting for the trade is how writers write
I was
for
just
the
gonna say
trade.
that. I had that
Justin,
one.
you were
written
gonna say, all right,
Yeah.
how about you talk about that for a little bit?
Pardon?
How about you talk about that for a little bit? Because I've been talking.
Well, no, just that. I actually kind of wanted to hear your input on it because I'm curious. I've heard of this, and I've heard of writers that do this, and you know, to either I don't know, really to milk out a story or whatever. But I've never really experienced it in a way that has made me upset. So, but I don't know if I've really experienced it. Like, I understand, like, I understand that you write a 5 or 6 issue story and that comes out in a trade initially just so people can write it. But what's like the downside of that, or like why do people?
So a lot of times when you're writing for trade, different companies, different contracts with writers are set up depending on the sales. I know a lot of times with Image, all of the trade paperback sales will go to the company. That's why they'll upcharge like your Donny Cates, your Mark Millar, your Brubaker, not your Remender anymore, but your not Tynan, he's not on that contract. But you know, your main Image writers, Robert Kirkman is as well, because they know that they will sell like their first volume instead of that special $10.
Right.
But you look at a book like Mr. Miracle. Now I love Tom King; he's one of my favorite people to meet. But Mr. Miracle is written for the trade, meaning that it's a binge that is much easier to comprehend. Right,
All
so
in
it's
one
not
shot.
going to have all in, let's say 1 reader, 2 sittings, 3 sittings, like a Netflix series, right?
Yeah.
It's like a TV show. Let's say American Idol, for example. If you go ahead, you binge the whole season, it's not going to be as enjoyable as watching episode per episode per episode, or X Factor, any of those like kind of shows where you're booting somebody off. You watch Sweet Tooth, right? It's a binge, right? That's kind of like the way I look at it. So Ultimate Spider-Man is a binge. It's not like that page turner, like let's say Saga. that where you're kind of like on the edge each issue, right?
Like each issue is contained.
Right. Each issue keeps you in suspense,
contained,
you know?
And you're like page turning. Like 7 Secrets is written for the trade. Why? Because those kind of indie books, Tom Taylor knows I'm going to make most of my money here, right? Tom King understands no motherfucker is going to be spending every like $4 an issue on Strange Adventures, right? He's like, yeah, no one's going to pick up Adam Strange for 12 issues. People are going to buy this in trade.
That's what I bought the first issue, and I'm like, okay, I'll wait for the rest.
That's because you can understand that his writing style is more geared towards the trade. You know, Mr. Miracle was the same way. You know, I have 2 trades of it, mostly because one was like drawn all over by Tom King. Thank you very much.
What Jason just said there, Brandon? Do you think?
Oh, what did he say?
He just talked about Hickman stories.
Hickman.
I have not read too much of Hickman in trade, to be honest. House and Powers of X, I think, is easier to it depends, right? Because when you're reading Hickman, he wants you to obtain a basis level of Hickman is the exception where he's a mastermind and is able to make it work both ways. So let's take House and Powers of X, for example. You're reading both of them, right? Because it's the reading order. And
it has that blueprint. That's what I like.
It has that mic drop, but when you read it all together, that's when people who have read Hickman understand you need a whiteboard, you need a web to comprehend what he's doing, because he's going to pull stuff out of left field. And he knows that I'm going to sell the single issues for that mic drop, but I'm also going to get that in the trade so people can digest what else I'm saying, what else I'm hiding. Donny Cates is the same exact way right now. Al Ewing is the same way. Go back, read Immortal Hulk, right? And then you read it in trade and you will find all them Easter eggs in there, because that's how you're able to master good writing and go beyond the tropes. Brian Michael Bendis is a tropey writer, right? This is how Brian Michael Bendis will write. Oh, are we triggering people? John, happy birthday. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, John. Happy birthday. No, yes, today we're not triggering.
He says that every time I'm on a stream.
And you know what? And he should. And he should say that. It's only right.
Right. So with Bendis, right? Every time he's writing a character, he'll base it back to their origin, right? Moon Knight. We were just talking about Moon Knight. Little did y'all know, Brian Michael Bendis did a Moon Knight series. Remember, some people didn't know that. But yeah, so it's like, let's bring it back to his origin. And he just does his own thing. He does the same thing as Superman. Like the secret origin of. He did it with Daredevil. He does with all of his characters. But when his books aren't selling, they're like, they're going to go to jail, or I'm going to reveal him to the world, because no one's ever done that before. Okay, your Superman sucked and you're revealing him to the world. Why? Who cares? Because it's done before. We've seen it 1,000 times.
Right.
Or how about family members, you know?
Right.
Bringing new family members, or family members that died and then they bring them back.
Tom Taylor just did it.
I was going to say, spoiler.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, introducing someone who's been like a long lost kind of.
He could have done it in 7 Secrets. He could have done it in whatever else. You don't know. Right. I mean, it's a spoiler for this.
Exactly. You know, it's a full circle, guys. It's a full circle. You know, when it comes to these tropes, man. And but like we said, you have some tropes that you could get away with, and then you have the ones that you're just like a slap in the face, and you're just like, okay, you're just trying to sell some books. You know, and you're just trying to get away with murder right now. And a lot of times, like we said, with the whole death and coming back, I think I don't even know if we want to call that a trope anymore, because that has been existing in comic books since day one. You know, where characters die off and come back. It's like, now that's like the norm. Now it's like you expect that to happen.
That's what I mean. That's a trope. It's like a typical thing.
Right, it's a trope, but like you expect it to happen.
Right.
Now it's like something where it's like, okay, if anybody dies anytime soon, you're just like, yeah, they'll be back.
But that's why I like indies, because indies don't do that. They're writing for the one storyline, and that's it. They're not trying to keep. They don't have a Spider-Man, so they don't. You know, they just have a. They have these.
Yeah, they have a Marco. They have a Marco.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. and that's it. You know. But yeah, no. I mean, no. That's definitely something that it depends on. I mean, nowadays is certainly much different for indie stuff, but I think you're always going to have. Like Spider-Man is never going to die.
Never.
He's never going to die.
That's not happening. None of those key characters are ever going to die.
Right.
Well,
but that's why it's so hard to get into it, though. If you have a story, you're like, all right, I'm writing Spider-Man, and he fights 5 villains at one time. In my mind, I'm like, all right, well, he's gonna win somehow because he doesn't die.
Right.
So it takes me out of it. Like it takes me out of like
right.
like
it
nothing
kills
shocking is
whole,
gonna happen. You know,
right.
Right.
It kills the suspense of it.
Right.
Because of comics. But actually, I think the best character that is able to avoid tropes is Green Lantern. That's just because there's so fucking many of them. But I love it anyway.
I can't even comment on that because I've never read a Green Lantern book in my life.
I love Green Lantern.
Know about Green Lantern. You know, I just like the fact that they made a black Green Lantern. Like that was cool. But other than that, it's like I can't even tell you anything about it.
They have a few of them now. They have a Teen Lantern. They got this new chick Jo. Ask John about her because
I hear that one's great. Great
story. Trade waiting it. I read the first 6 issues and then I started.
I'm doing the same. It's over now.
I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not. I'm staying away from that rabbit hole.
Except the one character they just refuse to kill Guy Gardner. No one cares about him anyway.
I'm not doing.
But anyway,
I'll stick with Marvel and independent and indies. I'll stay there.
Marvel. Elektra was made to die, but the characters liked her so much they kept her going.
Brought her back.
So you just, and it's also like fan reception. Like if fans like what they're seeing, obviously they're not going to buy it if they're gone. It's common sense, but
of course,
So, or if they don't like a certain thing, fans are very dictative of what the industry does. Like imagine if the Cable book by Jerry Dugan didn't sell, right? Or maybe it didn't, it was probably one of the weaker X-Men titles.
I was wondering why they stopped it.
Right? Because they told a story, right? But they're bringing back old Cable. Probably because the character didn't sell. Probably because no one liked it. Because there was such an outpour when they made that decision in Extermination. Oh, Kid Cable is a new thing. Fuck off. Your 90s people are triggered.
Well, so that's the other thing too, is like they're trying to cater to new audiences all the time.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I get that. And for new audiences, it's like there are people who never read Spider-Man, so that's why they need to
what's
keep
up,
going
Albert?
With new Spider-Man. Did you just realize Albert was here now?
He's been
here the whole time.
Hold on, let me bring it back. Let me bring it back with Albert, what he said.
What's up,
with Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben has never been resurrected.
No,
well, he has. Yeah, he it was alternate. It was alternate universe.
Actually, I would expect Norman Osborn to do that because apparently, like, I don't know, he had kids with Gwen Stacy, so I guess anything is possible from that guy. Who knows?
Jesus Christ.
Well, do we not talk about that?
No, I just laugh, man. They just put anything together, man. Sometimes just to sell a book, and it just makes me laugh, man. And another one of the things too that I wanted to touch is like when they create characters, all these tropes where you have they create the city. You have Gotham, you have Metropolis, you have New York City. They create all this stuff. Then you have the money aspect of it, where they have characters who are just wealthy. Batman, Iron Man. You know what I mean? And these are like those little tropes that they throw in, where they create these how can I say these qualities of these characters where it's very easy. It's very easy to say, oh, wait, he's a wealthy philanthropist. And he's able to do this. He's able to have this technology because he just has money. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, how he made the money? Don't worry about that. He has money. He is rich.
Now it's but now Batman is broke, and they just want to throw that in your face, like the whole
right.
Like across every title. I swear to God, I have not read a Batman issue since Joker where they say, "Oh, Batman isn't broke." They always throw it. Oh, now that he's broke. Yeah, fuck off. Right, in like 3 issues, he's going to Nightwing and saying, "You got the cash, give me some, so I can like keep doing the dash."
I'm waiting for that.
Right, I just want Nightwing to say, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
But he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. What's up, Martin?
He's too good.
But,
Martin.
What's up, Martin? He
wants
to resurrect him back. He wants to bring him back. Venom. Let's bring him back. Venom.
So
here we go.
Venom.
Uncle Ben.
If that ever happens, I will quit YouTube. Because y'all would not want to hear what I have to say about that.
Hey, you never know, man. They've done stranger things, I feel like.
Not every Spider-Man character needs to have like webbing abilities, Cap and Flash. They already made the Council of Spider-Men in the fucking Nick Spencer series. It was like Spider-Woman, Silk, Renania, whatever the hell her name is. Whatever her name is. Justin, help me out, bro.
Venom.
Come on, Justin.
Venom.
I'm still on Venom.
Justin's like, you lost me, bro.
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah,
Venom.
There's like so many spider characters. No more.
Can I add another trope here that I was going to mention before was that we didn't cover was the typical and I know John loves these the typical splash page villain reveal at the end of an issue.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Just,
Thank you for bringing that up. You gotta love it.
So
you gotta love it.
Yeah. So like,
no, you don't know.
So like I'm fine with it, if it's done right and it's part of whatever the story is going. Like it doesn't. I know there are some people that it bothers more than others just because they've read more and so they've had that experience more. I don't think I've had that experience as much, and I feel like you didn't get that as much in some of the older books. Or I don't know, maybe that's not true, but for at least for that. You did. Okay, so for even for some of the new though, but like
that's why John is like.
But I do appreciate when a book can end in a different way. I do appreciate that. Like it does stand out to me where it's not just your typical like, and then you discover it's this guy or this villain or whatever. Like it's something different. Like I can appreciate that. But I mean, yeah, it doesn't happen often.
Right.
I feel like.
Yeah. It was more of a big thing back in the days. That happened constantly a lot. Back in the days, and it happening now. Because back then it was sort of like a trend type thing to do. At the end of the comic book, you do the splash page. Here's the villain. You know what I mean? And you saw that a lot. In Spider-Man and Punisher. You saw that a lot in X-Men.
Even the heroes, even like Wolverine and
Wolverine, right? Exactly. You
Reveals,
see a lot of reveals were just splash page at the end. Venom, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of that. You saw
right now. I noticed how we're talking about a certain character, like certain characters over and over and over again. Do you guys think the characters have anything to do with the trope?
Of course. I think so. Because the fact that these characters have to be recycled constantly and they're such a long-term characters, you're going to get more tropes with these characters than with other characters. Because these characters have been around for so long that you're going to experience these over and over again with these same characters. You're talking about characters who've been around for 40 plus years. You know what I mean? So you're going to see this over and over again when they're trying to revamp these characters and try to get these sales up. So we'll keep repeating like Batman, we're talking, like you said, Spider-Man, a lot of these big, characters that have been around, iconic characters. So I think that, we're going to see a lot of tropes when it comes to these characters because they've just been around long enough. And these writers had a lot of practice, coming up with all these tropes with these characters. And then they implement them now and revamp the tropes, let's say, remix the tropes, we could say.
Right. Now, the remix. It's the remix. DJ Khaled.
Yeah, exactly. He remixed that trope for us. But definitely, I really feel like, and it's a good point that you made, Brandon, that the fact that we keep bringing up these same characters, and it's for a reason, because they just, it's like if the writers almost like mastered, their trope, with these characters, because they just had no other choice but to revamp these characters. How many times haven't we had, Aunt May, get sick, and then, she's on her deathbed, and then, Spider-Man is going crazy trying to, find a cure and all this stuff and bring her back.
And Ben Reilly is like watching from the window, ASM 600.
You mean Venom?
Venom?
No.
Venom is watching. Venom.
But yeah, cloning is a big trope, that again,
that's big. That was big. I mean,
that's just been more so in Spider-Man, Yeah, it's
right. With Spider-Man,
but also,
and then now they did it with Miles Morales. Now you have the Clone Saga.
Jesus, get the fuck out of here! No one was reading it. Nobody wanted the Clone Saga anyway. No one cared about it. No one liked it. So it's not going to be any different for Miles, especially when the writer literally makes fun of the same Clone Saga in the same text.
Here we go. There's another one right here. Kidnapping.
Oh yeah, did you hear about the kidnapping at the school in Spider-Man? That's okay. He woke up 2 hours ago. Yeah,
he woke up
2 hours ago. You know what?
Dude, like how many
Classic.
times you're gonna do the kidnapping thing, bro? Like, you know what I mean? But that was a twist. See, that was the remix on the kidnapping.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was the remix. So,
what about this? What about this one? Retcons. Oh, Jesus.
Here we go. Jason just brought it up right now.
Yeah.
Yo, I love this. Actually, this is like retcons that. So retconning, okay. Retconning is something that if you are a long-term reader, you're gonna understand a lot. Now, I know Justin and I kind of had this debate a while back ago about the Joker book. Okay, the Joker, if you guys are reading it, and if you guys have read The Killing Joke, they're being put on the same pedestal. Am I echoing? I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah, I do hear echo.
Little bit.
A little bit. It's okay. Y'all can deal with it. That should be better. But you know, there are a lot of the same scenes, and the style of drawing that Gilliam March did was very much in sync with The Killing Joke, because that's really bonded Jim Gordon and the Joker together. It's not the only thing that bonded, it's the most iconic thing. So in order to make it click, they had to do it, but in doing so, right, calls back a historic story. So for me, I don't like when that stuff happens, because it like, okay, now it has to be either as good or better. And to me, it's like, I'm not ready for that yet. Or I want something new. I want them to go into a new dynamic, right? Instead of making everything connect, that's another trope that retcons often like lead into. Kind of say, oh, this was a relationship error, or like a relationship like kind of shift, or with Joker and Gordon that brings them together that we haven't seen. So maybe that can spin into something else, create new stories for newer readers to get attached to. So while like a lot of times older readers aren't, and I'm guilty of this myself, are not as sensitive to like, what if this was someone's first thing and they went back and explored The Killing Joke? But it's more like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, it is
tricky.
It is all about it's so tough depending on the reader themselves and what their perspective is of that particular character or story or whatever. Because as you mentioned, Brandon, like I know that was something where I was like, I'm newer to Joker. Like I'm newer to a lot of this stuff that I just never read it, because I never read comics up until 3 years ago. So to me, it's like reading any Joker for the first time is new to me. And so while some people might say, oh, they did this already, they already told this story 5 years ago in another run, to me, I don't know that, and I'm enjoying it. And if you enjoyed the run from 5 years ago, and it's just genuinely a good story, and someone took it and stole it or whatever and basically rewrote it, I'm not going to know the difference. I mean, I'm just not going to know, because I never read the first, that first one 5 years ago. So it's harder for me to like hear you out if you say that it's not good or whatever. Or something to that effect.
Well, I am a old school reader, like you bastards keep saying.
No, you're just old.
That's funny. I'm old, but I look whatever.
Remember, you can remove him anytime you want.
See, what you don't understand is
we're done. All right.
Silence.
That's it.
When he removes the hat, he removed me to keep me from saying this. There's a lot of gray, so he's hiding it from you guys.
Easy with the gray, okay? Easy with the gray. Just started on the chin, okay?
I'm observant.
But like to me, like I'm like I said, once again, I'm not a big DC guy, but I did read a lot of old school Joker, The Killing Joke. I read a lot of that stuff. So reading the new Joker now, me personally, I was not bringing it down at all. I was enjoying it. I'm enjoying it because it's kind of the same, but it is kind of different. It's a different, you know what I mean? It's like modernized, you know what I mean? And it's fun to reread it again in a sense, for me. It wasn't like I was like, fuck this. This is the same bullshit. They're reconning it. That's not my attitude. I don't read. There, that's this guy.
Wow. I'm not. Point at the Jew.
This guy.
I'm not like that.
Don't go
what you did? I put a fucking penny in the comic book. Or you feel better? You open it, find a penny in there. You feel better?
Only if it's heads up. Hey. Actually, one time my grandfather made me stop in the middle of like the metro, like subway for y'all New Yorkers, because I dropped a dime, and he's like, "Yeah, pick it up." And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus,
pick that shit up."
Great, like, jeez. So yeah, trust me, we live up to that stereotype. But
get that right.
If the retcon is so okay, my biggest thing is if the retcon is like the basis of the story, that's why I was kind of mad at Joker, and it's like going beyond. But they're going in their year one, so I'm like, you still have to pay it off. So I'm a little on the flip side, but I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to let my guard down. Obviously, I'm still buying it.
I'm enjoying it.
You are buying it now, Brandon.
No, I'm buying it. I'm still picking it up. I mean,
I'm
paying $6. Okay. I mean, I'm paying $6 for it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm paying $6 for it. It's not like the first thing off my list. God damn! If I had like, what? How much have I already invested in that series with the variants and everything? Jesus Christ! If I had like what $50 to spend on something I didn't like, Jesus Christ! You know how many women I take out to dinner?
Well, first you gotta get the women, Brandon.
I was gonna say 0. They still turn you down.
You gotta get the women, then you can take them out to dinner. Okay.
Well played, gentlemen.
They have to agree. What's Albert saying here?
The least favorite trope is
Albert's here.
With the same powers as the main characters. Oh, why Flash fighting speedster?
Yeah, the opposite.
Yeah, seasons 4, 5, and 6 of the Flash series.
Right. Well, I mean, you could say, well, not the same, but you got Wolverine, Lady Deathstrike. I kind of felt not the same way, but I kind of felt like, okay, there's a lot of similarity here. When I was young, I'm not talking now. I'm talking when they first met in the comic books back in the days. You know what I mean? When I first read Lady Deathstrike, and then and then when they went at each other and they first met each other and started fighting each other, even when I was a teen at the time, I was just like, okay, this seems like brother and sister. Like I didn't feel the suspense or that like, oh my God, this character, what's gonna happen? It was almost like obvious what was gonna happen. When Lady Deathstrike went up against Wolverine, because there's so similarities there that I just felt like it wasn't enjoyable, that fight. I know, guys, I took it back. I'm not talking about current stuff, but it just was like, for me, I remember that clearly. When I remember reading Lady Deathstrike going against Wolverine, I was not as excited as I was, seeing Wolverine go against someone who's the total opposite of Wolverine.
Right.
Because then now you don't know what's going to happen. You're just like wondering, like, how is Wolverine going to face this character, that is a total opposite of him? Like, how he's going to take this, like Omega Red. Now, I was excited when Omega Red started fighting Wolverine. Yeah, because now they're similar with the adamantium, but they're totally different on every other aspect.
What about reboots?
Say again?
How do you feel about reboots?
Reboots?
Yeah.
It's a give and take with reboots. It's a give and take. It depends how it's put together, how the storyline is written, as far as a reboot, because it's a 50-50 with me when it comes to reboots, to be honest with you guys. It's a 50-50. I'm not going to say I hate it. I'm not going to say I love it. It just depends on the story and how they present the story, But other than that, I really don't have much to say about reboots, to be honest. Because it's just a 50-50,
I think it goes towards kind of what we were saying about everything else with like business, where I get it. Like, companies have to reboot so that they can get new readers in and tell a different story or introduce different characters or characters as different character, like just changing up their backgrounds or their powers or whatever. And I'm kind of with you, Morb. Like I'm not against it. Certainly, I understand at the end of the day, if it's going to pull new readers in at the end of the day, then great. Like keep them coming. Right. But I will be a little picky and choosy about which ones I put my time into. But a lot of it will have to do with the writer. Right. If it's a writer that I like, then I'm down for it.
Yeah. Right.
Like if Tom Taylor just picked up a new reboot on new 50, like a new 52 type style, then I'm going to be like, all right, yeah, I'm going to give it a try just because I trust Tom Taylor.
Right. And here's the other thing you gotta look at is what's their agenda is because people do reboots for different things. Like for the new 52, it was so we can get a main continuity for newer readers, for Marvel, for like the whole Marvel Now or like the Marvel like .1 thing. It was to bring in more diversity, into the Marvel universe. And a lot of times, right, people are very unforgiving towards the events in the present, but years later, now look at what's going on. You look at people who hated the fact that we had Kamala Khan, Sam Alexander, Miles, Riri, all these younger characters coming in because they're like, they're taking the mantles of Miss Marvel, Spider-Man, Nova. Right. But Kate Bishop, Kate Bishop was part of Young Avengers, so I'm not going to say that. But Viv was kind of part of the point now, or the Marvel like 1 point. But now look at them; they're all going to be on the big screens. And if you have children, that's someone that, or if you are a person of color, that's someone that is kind of that nature. Who is a role model. So it's like like I used to teach karate, right? So like my karate students could look up and say this is their hero. So it's like you got to understand like a circumstances and agendas and what it's actually doing. Yep. So reboots, I'm not. The only thing that I don't like about the whole trope part of it is all of like the incentives and the variants that are so stupidly priced.
I mean, but you're gonna get that with any book, even
So it's like, but that's easy enough for me to ignore. Right. But again, like you said, it's also like what they're doing. Like I think some reboots also sacrifice some characters. Like Barry Allen is the Flash will forever be the poster boy for DC to launch their reboots because of the Speed Force. They're not gonna tell you what it is because they don't know, and they're just gonna use it to reset the timeline. Like it's stupid. It's stupid. My voice just cracked like a million times. Holy crap!
He doesn't even sleep at night because of this. Brandon is like up all night because of this. He's like, what the fuck is that
see, like Flashpoint just triggered the crap out of me. Like Flashpoint, I love it, but I hate it. I can't stand Flashpoint. I can't stand Flashpoint. I don't care. None of y'all say I don't like Flashpoint. I don't care.
Hey, you're talking to a Marvel guy. I could care less about fucking anything DC does,
I'm more of a Marvel guy too, so salute.
I'm a Marvel. No, when I say Marvel, bro, I'm Marvel. Like, like I only got like maybe 2 long boxes full of DC, and that's garbage. If you're into DC, like that's nothing. But guys, we hit our mark. You know what I mean? Let's we're gonna wrap it up because I know you guys got another show after this with John, you know, and Chet. So, but yeah, man, definitely it was great. Loved it. You know, Brandon, once again, always a pleasure to have you on. You know, I know you said you teach karate. You know, what is it?
Used to.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, can't do it with the hips. Can't do it with the hips.
I was wondering about that. You doing like backflips with a, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
with the crazy you got a bionic hip, brother. You need to work on that. We need to work on that.
I'm about to have another. I'm about to have 2.
Get your bionic hip, bro.
I'm about to have 2, July 19th.
Ooh, here we go. Okay.
I'm about to have 2.
And of course, it's always a pleasure, Justin. You already know.
Good times, man. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out.
Hell yeah. So anybody who's watching it, thank you so much. I know this is brand new. You're on my channel. I'm starting the channel. Thank you. If you're watching the replay, once again, thank you so much for tuning in, checking us out. Make sure you sub everybody up. Their links are in the description. So make sure you hit them up. And once again, thank you so much for checking us out. This is Comic Relief, and I didn't even say it. Episode 17.
Holy
episode
crap!
17.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We're chugging along. We're chugging along. We're getting there. And so once again, thank you. And y'all already know what we do here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you trigger people and drink.